I'm Faith Nkatha Gokonyo. I'm country manager for Cellulant, and I am 38 years old.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. And once again, congratulations for being nominated for 40 Under 40 Business Daily.
Thank you.
So you are known in the fintech world, but who is Faith Nkatha?
Who is Faith? Faith is a young woman who is a go-getter. I keep saying I set my mind on what I want to do and I go for it. So yeah, I'd say go-getter. And I'd also say Faith is a Christian woman. I have, like, Jesus is just the center of who I am, and everything just revolves around that. In fact, I should have said that first. And I'm a mother and a wife. I say that because I think as we grow in the corporate ladder, it's so easy for that to be put under the carpet, on the back burner. But for me, I'm proudly a wife and a mother to 3 boys. And if you allow me to say, I think it's very important that is properly integrated into my work. Yeah. Yes. So that's me in a nutshell. I started off in banking, and the typical banker where you are a relationship officer and you grow through the ranks, and of course relationship officer meaning you're a salesperson, you're going door to door and looking for sales. Grew up the ranks, and by the time I left banking I was director for strategy and transformation. So first a banker. Yeah, typical banker. Then got into the tech space. I keep saying I reached a place in my life, I started getting some of these C-suite offers, and I was like, oh my gosh, where the world is going, if you do not have that sort of experience in the tech space, then I'll lead an organization to the wrong side. And so that's how I joined the tech space, and now working in the fintech sort of environment, and loving it because the digital age is where we are at, and I think COVID has even accelerated it further. So my job today is to support what we call merchants or businesses collect easier with less friction or totally frictionless, to ensure that whatever payments you're receiving, it's seamless, it's timely, and it's completely convenient. If I'm to be totally honest, I always wanted to end up in fintech. So way before I even started working for Cellulant, I was already in the fintech spaces, just trying to get to network there and hopefully be able to get into that space. So joining Oracle for me was I keep saying that block of my life was learning. I got into this tech space. I keep saying when I joined Oracle, I only knew about the CPU, mouse, and things like that. But Oracle does fantastic training. So I got to get trained to become a semi-techie, so to speak. And so I got the proper training on like solid, new technologies, whether you're talking about AI, blockchain, IoT, the whole journey to cloud. What does that mean? What does it mean for businesses? How to set up those sort of strategies. And so that gave me fantastic grounding, and that's why I'm saying that block for me was learning. And so it set me up fantastically to fit into the fintech space, which is where I am now. And I'm so grateful to God that I got to get the banking experience in that tech space before, and now working for a payments company like Cellulant. I think very well. I'll give you a story. The first time, for example, I heard about Cellulant, I was working for a bank, and so I was on the other side of the table. And I remember when they came in and they're like, okay, we're here to help you solve for just a sort of integration from what you have in your mobile wallet and what you have in your bank wallet, and we can give you that sort of platform. And as a banker then, I was like, this, in your wildest dreams, like this is not likely to happen. And I was working for a bank that was really upbeat and, you know, key on innovation. But at the first meeting, we didn't take that seriously. But of course, later we picked that up. And so fintech is important because, yes, that was the start, but there's more to be done. There are now opportunities for example, to do buy now, pay later. Who's gonna do those solutions? You know, if we sit around, then we'll get more people coming from out there, and we understand how it's done, so it's better. You know, so when I go buy my maziwa and bread, and I don't have the 20 shillings or the 100 shillings needed, then I should be able to get that offering even from a kiosk. And so I think fintech will come in to take care of that. If you check the statistics, 4 out of every 5 Kenyans is shopping online. Yeah. So what does that mean for fintechs? It means that's like grand opportunity. What are we doing about it? And it's growing. It's no longer when you're buying shoes, it's that I'm buying a bag of cement and I don't want to go to the shop for it. I want to get that online. So there's so much opportunity. And that's why I said fintech is the glue, because it just comes in and just sets that space to ensure that the merchant is connected to the customer seamlessly. And that's what Cellulant does on a daily basis. I'll be honest, and you know, especially where I worked before when I was at Oracle, we did a lot of study and research on, for example, careers that will not be necessary with new technologies, and it is scary. I remember there was even somewhere you could go on Google, I don't know if you remember it right now, where you could get onto Google and search and see if your career or like the type of job you do will be relevant in the next 5 years with all these digital advancements. So that scares me. It scares me that one day, and it's coming soon if it's not here already, that one day there'll be a lot of the virtual reality aspects, you know, where you're experiencing so much virtually. And we've seen it with COVID, where you do so many virtual meetings that you actually get virtual fatigue. That even when I meet you live, that I don't even know how to handle that, you know. And so it worries me, especially even for my children, you know. And I think about, you know, people perhaps who have certain jobs right now that they've studied for. You know, are we taking time to think about if your job will be relevant in the next few years? Are you advancing your studies in some of these new technologies so that you're still relevant in the days to come? Another thing that, does it scare me? Maybe yes, I think it does. You know, I'm 38 years now. I'm proudly 38. And I think about retirement, for example. Our parents retired when they were 55, 65. I think that age is going to come closer, you know. So soon we'll be retiring at 40, you know. And the way the world is going, if another COVID hits, yeah, for example, and forces us to even advance faster in the new technologies and aspects like that, then maybe, you know, like the organizations will have to think, how do we get leaner? How do we have smaller offices? Then maybe they go like, maybe these younger guys handle this tech better. You know, let's have a few of these older people sitting in boards, perhaps. And then maybe just reduces opportunities for people as they get older. And already you're seeing someone who's 50 years old, it's harder for them maybe to get certain roles, etc., as this world is advancing. But what I think that means is that we should, perhaps even as we do top 40 under 40, let's do top 40 under 70. Let's create opportunity for those older people. Let's make it commonplace for this person who's 40 and 50 and 60 to be able to advise the younger people. Because then mentors are lacking, coaches are lacking, and those are the aspects of culture that, for me, I fear is like totally going, and we can be able to just preserve that by taking advantage of those people. Yes, I sit in 4 boards currently, and I'm so big on let's have these young people sitting in boards, but I don't think I'm also saying let's eradicate the older people out, because there's value in the young people and there's value in the older people. So, let me be vulnerable, yeah, because it might help someone. And like maybe most people, because every person's journey is different. I got into leadership very young, yeah, And so by the time I was getting married and starting to have children, I was already very senior in the workplace, which makes it very difficult. It's not easy, yeah. But I thank God that He put like a circle of solid women who walked with me through those times, yeah. And this thing people call work-life balance, like I don't even think there's anything like balance. But it's something probably in the last 6 years when, my kids are 6 years and, I have a 6-year-old, 4-year-old and 2-year-old. So you can imagine I've been in those trenches of in that season of having children for a while. But that has meant something for my career. And maybe this is to encourage other women, like I have been promoted when pregnant. I've been promoted when on maternity leave. But that does not mean as well that people have not wanted to let go of me when I'm on maternity leave because they're like, you're too senior to be going away for 4 months. You know what I mean? But just being able to get that balance and being able to say, okay, it's 5 o'clock or it's 5:30. I need my time with my family. Such difficult decisions to make, yeah? To still say that I'll make breakfast for my family every morning. And I do that. Let me tell you, so difficult. Yeah, because I want to sleep in, I've maybe had to work late. I've had to even make drastic decisions. I have young children, and at some point I used to keep 2 nannies, but I put a hold on that because when then you have those help, then you don't have time with your kids because like I can extend a meeting till 10 p.m. at work because I know there's someone sorting things at home. So we don't keep many nannies and we don't keep a living as well. Now to answer your question, what makes me smile? It's knowing that I don't have mom guilt anymore because I did. And I think as working women, this mom guilt has become like a thing to say to make us feel better. Yeah, but don't just do that. Just wake up and go like, let's be drastic. These kids grow up so fast. And so for me, that's what makes me smile. That I don't have mom guilt anymore. Like it could bring tears to my eyes because there are times I'd be leaving the house and I'm like, I haven't seen my kids Monday to Friday. It's a Friday, I'm leaving the house at 7 a.m. and I have to go to work, but I can't remember the last time I saw them. I don't know what my kids eat. So I went through a season and I was like, no, this is not the memory I want my kids to have of me. And you'll be shocked when that side of your life is sorted, you perform better at work. So I know I have to wake up early, do my devotions, exercise, then make breakfast for my family, then leave for work. And because I know around 5:30 I have to be back home to release my nanny, means my 8 to 5 is not like anybody else's. It's like this, And so you're more productive, your days are solid. And for me, then that's work-life balance. And I remember telling myself once, I will not talk about work-life balance till the day I feel I am there. And so today I smile and my heart is glad because I feel I'm there. Wow. Can I be honest? I think for me, if it's not, and probably I should say this, yeah? It matters who you get married to, especially if you're a corporate woman. Like, I cannot say that enough. It so matters who you get married to because my husband has taught me how to rest. Like, if it wasn't that he trained me on that, I'm a workaholic. So when I was single, and I didn't have a family and I could go at it that way, maybe because I had more time, etc. And maybe it explains my growth as well. Because like you call me, you're like, Faith, can you do this? I'm like, yes, I can. Can you do this meeting? Yes. You need a report done? I'll do it for you. And so I was able to do those things then. And I guess that's why even God's word says there's a time for everything. But in this new season, as a leader, you need to be able to, like one of my mentors says, have that clean desk so you can be able to strategize and have vision and things like that. And you can't do that if you're not rested. So what I do when I'm not working, I'll spend a lot of time with my family. I have a group of ladies, 12 ladies they're not 12 anymore, they're a bit less, they're like 8 now, who I walk with through life. So I started with them when they were in school, and so I'll meet them and I'm walking with them through life. So whether it's discussing Jesus, and walking with them through reading the Bible or through career decisions, things that I wish I was told when I was their age. And so I'm so privileged, and I thank God I get that opportunity to do that with those 8 girls. And it's amazing how reverse mentorship happens. They teach me so much as well. And so I love that. I love doing that. You can probably tell by this point in this interview, I like to talk. So I enjoy sitting in front of a camera or not, as long as I get a platform, whether it's 2 people or 1,000 people, and share my life, share what God puts in my heart, whether it's church. I keep saying probably I wasn't doing this, maybe I'd be a pastor, yeah. So whether it's church, whether it's some women's event and I'm called to speak, I go back to my high school and I'll speak there, or just sort of areas like those, yeah, as long as I'm speaking. Now, like if you want to find me in my place, that's what you find me doing. What I haven't fully learned to do is to just sit like a whole day in the house and watch movies. Like I don't do much TV. I'd rather read a book or things like that. But yes, at least I've mastered resting, and I have a few hobbies as well now. It's not just work, or school.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting because I'm redoing my vision board. So when you ask that, I'm smiling because it's things that I'm thinking about. What does it look like for faith? I'm looking for a program to do for parenting, so that's one. Just to say. But what it looks like, because I know you're probably asking more on my career and all that. Yeah, even me. Yeah. So I'm looking for a program to do for parenting, because the kids of these days, my son comes home like the oldest and says some things. I'm like, wow, I think I need a school, but God is guiding me every step of the way. But just where I see myself, let me work with 5 years, maybe. 5 years is not too far, but not too close. Probably sort of regional reach or regional focus would be my prayer and my ideal. Just to be able to do just what I'm doing for Kenya. And of course, my job slightly, I get to learn what's happening in all these other countries, but I'd want a sort of role where like maybe I'm handling Africa, just to be able, because we are becoming global citizens, so Africa and of course globally, just to be able to have that sort of reach. I think, and probably you can tell in this interview, I'm very big on making a difference in people's lives and in organizations where I work for. And so for me, it would have to continue to be roles like this, where there's impact. I don't want to, and I'm about to turn 40, man. Like, it doesn't matter too much anymore whether it's like that big brand if I don't see impact. Like I know that Juakani guy, his life is changed by the sort of solution I'm giving. I have a dream that I'll be able to also do some work that would empower women and also have that sustainability sort of backbone that I'm talking about. That is not very clear. The woman part is clear, and I'm already working on it. I founded like a small business. As women, we're told not to say that. I founded a solid business. It's called Faithology Consulting. And I'll tell you why quickly. Sometimes I'll interview a lady and they'll be quickly apologizing, maybe not dress the part, yet they're solid. You look at their CV, then you look at them and you're like you're not bringing yourself to the table. I'd want to see more women sitting in boards. I'd want to see more women in tech. I was telling someone the other day, it's not just for saying this tech space is actually ruled by men. Like you get into tech meetings and at some point I'll be like, hiya, I'm the only chick in this room. Like it's so easy to find that. So just to encourage a lot of women. But having said that, I think I want to also help build women the right way. Because the boy child is suffering, and I have 3 boys I'm raising at home, yeah? So, and I keep pushing men to do the same thing for men, and I'm trying to raise them the right way. But I think also just to ensure that women, we know our place. And I know I could get attacked for saying that, but I don't mean our place like at your doormat or in the kitchen, no. But knowing our place, because this is how God created us, and we are powerhouses as women. but we need to know our place so that everything fits into place in our homes, in our churches, and then now in our workplaces. And when we have that balance, then we grow. But when we don't use what God has given us as women, because there's how He created us differently, then we lose, because we can't just have, a male-dominated corporate world and then women who are like men. Let's just be up the powerhouses we are, but as women. So for me, that's a passion, and I want to help women do that, so that we can have more women also just still being solid mothers at home, solid wives at home, but still being able to wear that CEO hat in the office and represent that properly.